If you're doing a mini H1 retrofit, no matter if you're using a Morimoto by Xenon projector or an Acme, you're going to need a set of H1 bulbs. Now for that reason, TRS carries a huge variety of H1 HID bulbs from some of the best manufacturers. Morimoto, it's been in our catalog for a long time. We've got several different Kelvin ratings. Xenon Depot, one of the newer additions to our product line. Again, several different Kelvin ratings. Xenon Depot's XTR XV2 bulbs, an awesome product. Hasn't really been tested yet. We don't exactly know what's going to happen for an expensive bulb. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab all of these popular options from the warehouse, we're going to bring them back into the studio, and we're going to test them up in a 7.0 by Xenon projector from Morimoto. We'll show you guys what the results look like and let you be the judge which one's going to work best for you. All right guys, so we're here in the studio, just walked upstairs from the warehouse, and again, we're looking at H1 bulb options, a little buyer's guide for you here from TRS coming through today. We have a variety of different choices for you, both different brands and different Kelvin ratings. Over here on the left, you've got the Morimoto, the XB5500Ks. These have been a standard item in our inventory for quite some time, really nice bulbs. These are available in 4500K, which is a warm white, the OEM, the original equipment HID color temp. It's a nice, clean white color. 5500K, which is again, a pure white. There's no off-white like a 4500K. And then of course you have the 6500K, which has a slight tinge of blue. Not too blue, but you know, a little bit different. And then of course you have the Xenon Depot, which is a fairly new product line here at TRS. We do like these bulbs a lot. Unlike the Morimotos, these come in a 4K, 5K, and 6K flat. I don't really know exactly how these bulbs are going to stack up side by side, but we're going to find out. And then over here on the far right is a relatively new option from Xenon Depot, one that I'm particularly excited about, which is the XV2 H1. This one is using an actual genuine Philips capsule, the XV2, which is one of the best performing bulbs from Philips in the OEM world, rebased to an H1 bulb. And of course that makes it compatible with the Mini H1 7.0 by Xenon projectors, which is what we're going to be using to conduct the test as our control. And we'll be using a standard Hilux 35 watt ballast, just because it happened to be back here. But that way we can ensure that the results for you guys are consistent on our wall. Well, the results are in. I've just spent the last 30 minutes burning my fingers for you guys, so I hope you sincerely appreciate the work, but got some good information for you here. I'm just gonna get right to the chase and tell you that right off the bat, the XTR, the Philips XV2 capsule was a clear winner. In my opinion, I think that the bulb was a little bit yellowish for my personal preference, but you can't match the intensity. That thing came in at 1050 lux, which is quite comparable to an Osram D2S CBB in a Mini D2S 5.0. So a solid win there among all of the H1 options in the lineup. That's the XTR with the Philips XTR, Philips XV2 capsule. From here, I'm gonna compare the 4500K range, the 5500K range, and the 6500K range, both for Morimoto and the Xenon Depot XTR series. So starting with the XBs, the Morimotos, 4500Ks, those came in at 783 lux. Certainly a respectable number for an H1 based setup there. In comparison though, the XTR from Xenon Depot was 911 lux, so it was considerably brighter than the Morimoto. Womp womp. I'll put that one right about there. Going up to the 5500Ks, these were definitely more white, both from Xenon Depot and from Morimoto on the wall compared to the 4300K. So a good contrast there, and it shows for those of you who are looking for a bulb that does produce more white light color, give you a little bit of extra contrast while driving at night. They look good. Again, the Morimoto's XB5500K. A lot of people complain often that these bulbs look kind of green to them. To me, I didn't see any of that. I'm not sure if it's an inconsistency thing or what, or if it's just some of the older bulbs, but these ones that we tested today were pure white. So XB5500K, 764 lux. That is, unfortunately, the lowest one that we tested so far. Xenon Depot's XTR 5000K, 883 lux. So that one actually comes in above the Morimoto D2S in the 5.0 and just below the 4300K. All right, so off to these 6000K bulbs, we've got the XB6500K from Morimoto and also the XTR 6000K from Xenon Depot. These bulbs, as you would traditionally expect from a bulb that is a higher Kelvin rating, did give us a little bit more of that blue tinted light output. And again, nothing outrageous, not ricey, but a little bit more color. But the flip side of that is you do get less light output, so there is a little bit of a compromise there. That said, the Morimoto XB6500Ks pumped out 660 lux. And the Xenon Depot XTR 6000Ks put out 648 lux. So they, unlike the 5500Ks and the 4300Ks, the Xenon Depot was actually a little bit lower for the 6000K. So if you guys want that color, Morimoto is probably your best option there. If you guys like the 4500Ks or the 5000Ks, the Xenon Depot one was brighter. And then if price is no object and color doesn't really matter to you, the XV2 XTR Xenon Depot bulb was the brightest contender in this shootout. Now, I just want to remind you guys that people compare lux ratings all of the time. People say, well, it could be brighter in the hot spot, but how's the rest of the distribution? All of those factors were kept consistent throughout this test. The H1 projector does have a good distribution in its beam pattern, so that is not relevant here. What's brighter in the hot spot will be proportionately brighter throughout the rest of the beam pattern. So that's one thing. The other thing is that even though we didn't show it or talk about it earlier, we did set a timer when we ran all these tests. So the warm-up speed on that high lux ballast that we were running was always 45 seconds, and then we took the lux measurement after that to keep things consistent. So there you have it, guys. We added a little bit more information to our wall here. We got the H1 bulbs up here, and hopefully that gives you a little bit of helpful information, help you make the right choice, what's good for you.